Hello everyone, welcome to my dungeon. Oh, this actually works. Okay, but on a serious note, hey guys, how are you all doing? Today I have some very interesting news for you, including some features that a lot of people have been waiting for a very long time, like for example, full body tracking on the Quest itself, or a different device that Oculus may be working on in the background, as well as some upgrades, features, and some info about the PSVR 2. So, without any further ado, as usual, in case you guys like this one, make sure to slap that little red button down below, and let's get right into it. So, first thing we've got on the list is the full body tracking for Quest. This is something a lot of people have been waiting for. A lot of people have been looking for alternatives, but of course none of them are fully standalone just yet. Well, I might have some good news for you, as the Quest 2 SDK documentation leaks body tracking support option. A screenshot of the Quest 2 developer documentation reveals an unannounced body tracking support option. The Quest features configuration section of the Oculus Unity integration allows developers to enable system-level features such as hand tracking, the system keyboard, a system splash screen, and support layers. Here is what it looked like at the latest publicly available version of the Oculus Unity integration. Now look closely at the screenshot of the same interface of the Quest 2 Tracked Keyboard SDK. Getting started documentation page. So the Tracked Keyboard SDK recently got it released to developers to allow them to, put that keyboard into their apps and games. And looking at this screenshot, we also see an option for full body tracking support. So whether that means that the Oculus Quest 2 might be getting full body tracking support sometime in the near future, or this might be for Cambria, as we know from leaks that Cambria is supposedly going to have that full body tracking support, I'm not entirely certain. But either way, it's there, and it's probably something we can be looking forward to in the near future. I mean, it is an obvious way to go. Adding full body tracking is the way for ultimate immersion. And of course, recently on Twitter, to add to that, we have had a video released by Chris Milk from Supernatural that seems to be full body tracking on Supernatural with no sensors. And it says, look ma, no sensors. It's very interesting, as there really is no sensors at all. And they are playing it on the Quest 2. So this is certainly very interesting and might be something that we could be looking forward to. Let me know what you think down below. Is this going to be for the Quest 2? Is this for Cambria? And what the hell is this video? Now here is one that I did not expect to see in the near future. Facebook has lost its daily users for the first time ever last quarter. So yes, we now have information that Facebook for the first time in forever is in decline. Since its inception, Facebook's user growth has especially been up and to the right. But on Wednesday, it reported its first ever quarterly decline of daily users globally, along with lower than expected ad growth that sent its stock plunging roughly 20%. The massive stock drop, which instantly wiped out roughly $200 billion in market value, shows that Facebook's corporate rebrand to Meta isn't enough to distract investors from the problems in its core business of social media. Not only was the user growth across Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp essentially flat last quarter, but the main Facebook app lost 1 million daily users in North America, where it makes most of its money through advertising. So, as you can see there, this is pretty big. Whether Oculus or Meta is going to start losing users as well, I highly doubt. That thing is on a steady uprise, as we will talk about in just a second, but it is definitely interesting seeing Facebook have its first decline in, well, literally forever. It's a big deal. And there was actually a meeting where Mark Zuckerberg told staff that he might cry, but that's because he scratched his eye earlier, not because of the decline. Whether you want to believe that or not is entirely your own choice. How this impacts on Meta? Well, of course, they are the same company, Facebook and Meta, and where Facebook makes most of its money through ads is also supposedly how they're able to sell the headset so cheap, Of course, as well as the fact that they make their money back through the store. Whether this means that they might have to bring up their prices, I'm not entirely certain, but I would love to hear your opinions down below. However, talking about Oculus being on a steady incline, well, I have some very interesting news for you. The Quest 2 has pushed Meta headsets to 2/4 of SteamVR VR users. Steam just saw its biggest increase in Quest 2 users since the headset launched over a year ago. Over the weekend, Valve posted an update to the Steam Hardware Survey, its monthly opt-in initiative that detects what types of hardware Steam users own. In January, the Quest 2, which still identified as the Oculus Quest 2 in the survey, accounted for a massive massive 46.02% of VR headsets used on the platform, and that's an increase of 6.39% over last month. That's a pretty huge increase right there, and it really shows you that that increase in headsets seems to be growing. It doesn't seem to be stopping, unlike the users of Facebook. I mean, I myself don't really use Facebook that much. I remember when I was super young and I desperately wanted to be on Facebook and my parents wouldn't let me. And then I got on Facebook and then I was like, oh, and now I pretty much never use it. I don't know how that happened, but that was a massive 360. I guess it was just kind of like the cool thing back then. And now it's mostly my parents looking at Facebook and not me. Well, the tables have turned. However, with everybody joining the Quest 2 space now, you know, from Christmas, of course, that number is going to see a massive increase in January. And seeing that increase, well, it's great because it means we have more people joining the community. I know some people dislike that. Some people say it's too much, it's happening too fast. I think it's really good. But let me know your opinions down below. And last episode, we talked about the PSVR 2 having Fresnel lenses, and a lot of people were very disappointed about that, because, you know, God rays, smudges, everything is a lot more visible on Fresnel for some reason. The clarity isn't as good as it would be on pancake lenses. People were very disappointed, but it seems like PlayStation might just have a patent for this, or Sony. We learned that last week the PSVR 2 will use Fresnel lenses, which have a range of advantages over traditional lenses, but also come with the biggest downside, God rays. However, Sony has a trick up its sleeve that may give the headset's Fresnel lenses a big advantage over the competition. A patent granted to Sony in 2020 proposes a method of manufacturing the Fresnel lenses which can suppress God rays. The patent describes adding a light-absorbing portion to the surfaces of the Fresnel lenses that don't actually contribute to the overall shape of the lens, the backside of the ridges. That would, in theory, reduce God rays by preventing light from being scattered by those parts of the lens. The patent shows several arrangements for the light-absorbing portion, both on the surface of the lens and embedded within it. So, of course, we talked about this before. Fresnel lenses are made with ridges, and you can actually see those if you look at your Oculus Quest 2 lenses or most other headsets. You will see little ridges around the lenses. While we also have something known as pancake lenses, and pancake lenses don't really have the issue of God rays, and clarity is a lot better. And I was quite disappointed when I found out that the PSVR 2 was going to have Fresnel lenses, but it seems Sony may just have a trick up its sleeve. And talking about tricks, it looks like Sony might be partnering with Tobii. Yes, one of the largest manufacturers of eye tracking and one of the leaders in that business. Tobii says it's currently in negotiation with Sony to be the eye tracking tech supplier for the PSVR 2 headset, because as we know, the PSVR 2 is actually supposed to have eye tracking in it. Today's press release reveals that negotiations are ongoing between Tobii and Sony to become the eye tracking supplier for the PSVR 2. But the release states that the information is information Tobii is obligated to make public pursuant to the EU market abuse regulation, suggesting this potential partnership is going to be announced not for marketing or for public relations purposes, but due to this regulatory requirement. Sony hasn't said anything about the PSVR's 2 release date yet, but we have the full website and the full announcement, and we have specs somewhat showing us what's going to be inside the headset. A lot of people are quite upset that it's going to have a wire, but hey, look, maybe this is just the right way to go with the PlayStation 5. I'm not entirely certain. I still hope that somebody makes it work with PC VR. And finally, for those of you there that really like your new games, Among Us VR is still going ahead, and it's not disappearing anywhere. So even if you forgot about it, it's still there, and it's still coming. So this is actually a game a lot of people are super excited for. You know, Among Us, it exploded. Among Us. We haven't seen a full trailer for the upcoming Among Us VR yet, but we have seen plenty of small gameplay snippets, and the game's map. The Among Us VR Twitter account has been sharing several glimpses of the gameplay since the game's reveal in December. Most of these give us quick looks at some of the game's rooms, which have obviously been redesigned for VR. One interesting clip, though, shows 2 players high-fiving, pointing towards some new social interactions which we can expect to enjoy in-game. Another clip shows 2 players waving at each other, and perhaps most interestingly, we've also seen a glimpse of the game's map from a top-down perspective. This is, of course, how you'd play the traditional game. Interestingly enough, this does confirm that the VR map will be practically identical to the original game, though it looks like there might be some expected reshuffling of the environment objects like crates. So while the map might look roughly the same, it does look like some things have been changed for the VR game, and it does make me wonder, will a future cross-compatibility maybe arrive? Who knows, that could make a lot more people be able to play with each other. You know, for example, like Demio is now adding a PC update so I can play with my friends that don't have VR headsets. Could certainly be very interesting. I know a lot of you are looking forward to the Among Us VR game, so certainly do let me know what you think about these little snippets that we're getting down below. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you all have a fantastic day or night. If you guys like this one, please leave a like. If you guys disliked it, I guess this button works too, but please tell me why down in the comment section below. A lot of interesting stuff coming our way. You know, Facebook first time in forever in decline. Wow, that's quite a big deal, to be honest. Even if it means nothing to you now, I hope the repercussions aren't too negative for us with Oculus headsets. I don't think they will be. You know, it's supposedly they're not intertwined, interconnected, they're just under the same branding. You know, as I said, Oculus is in an incline, or Meta is in an incline selling headsets, so supposedly that move to the metaverse is still continuing, and I don't think it means too much negativity towards the metaverse itself. It's just quite a big deal since this is the first time this has happened in forever, and that's that. I'm gonna go back to watching The Social Network, because that's something I did now. But thank you so much to the Patreons supporting this channel. You guys mean a whole ton to me. Thank you so much for helping me out and, you know, helping me pay my bills and my little subscriptions here and there, so thank you. If you guys would like to support the channel in any way, shape, or form, we've got sick mugs down below that boost your FPS by 300%, and merch that does not put a huge out on anybody. And of course, if you guys are not yet part of our community, check out our Discord down below, check out our Reddit, where I want to see you posting your spicy memes. And as usual, in case you guys want to be notified about future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack the subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.